When I go to acupuncture, as an example, I'm forced to lay there and I can't be on my phone. I have to be still. So where does my mind go? I focus on where the needles are. I focus on what the job of the needles are doing. And so there's this mind body connection and intention with the actual treatment, which only makes it that much more powerful. You can sit there and shovel down some healthy food and not even recognize what you're eating, or you could throw a handful of supplements in your mouth and not even know what you're taking. And there's not that intention. So, can you talk about the importance of that connection as well? And I believe that's why it's so powerful, or that much more powerful.
Yeah. So one of the things I'm often asked when people watch my videos is, do I have to repeat what you're saying? Do I have to say it out loud? And I say, the process of tapping, even if we're doing it silently, even if our mind gets distracted, it's still going to be sending the common signals to our brain. It's still going to be lowering that stress. And as you said, we have what I call ambient stress. There's always some level of stress that we're not aware of, especially because we all have a cell phone that's constantly, even if we're not on it, there's a part of us that's aware of it and wondering, what new messages have I gotten? Who's liked my last thing? Who disliked my last thing? And so there's this constant buzz that we didn't used to have, 30, 40 years ago, where when we didn't have that. So there is a much higher level of stress that we're experiencing these days, and we just normalize it.
Yes.
We have cortisol pumping through our body, which helpful when we're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, when that part of our brain developed, thousands of years ago. But we're feeling threatened at some level. We may be seeming like we're fine, and we're telling ourselves we're fine. That four-letter F word, I'm fine, fine. And when we're not even aware of these things going on in our body that are not helpful, as you said, it interrupts your sleep, which is so important. People who are, doom scrolling just before going to bed
Hmm.
and not even aware, it's like you're not helping yourself. But we just normalize it. We just take it for granted. That's how it is. I need to know what's going on. I do it
Yeah.
myself sometimes. I'll find myself, it's like, it's 9 o'clock at night. Why am I looking at my cell phone right now?
Yeah.
Because it's so habitual and it's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
So we recognize that, but then we can at least say, okay, but I have a way at least of calming my system down and dealing with that threat and all these things that are going on inside my head and telling me why I should be stressed.
Yeah.
As the Stoics say, it's not what happens that causes the upset; it's your thoughts about that. So
Hmm.
looking at, okay, what am I thinking that is causing me to be so stressed about this? Is this an actual threat to me at the moment? And can I allow myself to relax now? And it's not a matter of I don't care about what's going on in the world. Oh, I'm just gonna, oh, there's people fighting in other parts of the world. I'm just gonna feel okay, and it doesn't matter. It's not about that. But I cannot feel stressed enough to help anybody else. I
Right.
cannot feel bad enough. I cannot be sick enough to make anyone else healthier. I cannot be poor enough to make anyone else wealthier. But if I get down to that place and clear not just the levels of stress that I'm aware of, but those levels of stress that are affecting me and limiting me in so many ways, then I'm much more open to be able to share my gifts and talents with the world and look at where can I make a difference. And when you consider that everything is energy and we're all connected, just the fact that I'm calming my system down and I'm releasing stress from my body, I am releasing stress from the collective whole.
Yes.
It is a modest effect, but it is a measurable effect of making the world a better place.
Absolutely. And the world is not as big as you think it is. You have so much more power than you actually think you do. And I remember the moment when that actually was an aha moment for me. It was like in the beginning of my podcasting, like, oh my gosh, I just reached people outside of the United States. People from other countries are listening to me. I actually am voicing something that's helping people on the other side of the world. This is amazing, and I'm only one person, and the energy that you carry really affects the other people in your household, in the market. I mean, just for an example, I remember going to the market. If you're in a really bad mood, you say, well, gosh, everyone is so rude in the market. They don't look at you and they don't smile at you. And then you go into the market a different day and you're in a good mood, you're smiling, and all these people are engaging with you. It's the same environment. You're just the change agent, right?
Yes. It's so funny you mentioned this, Sarah, because I just was having a thought about a video just before we got on this about, the idea that the outside world is a reflection of what's going on inside. And it's just a mirror. And there's a part of us that just wants a world where there's no mirrors. I don't want to have it shown that I have a stain on my shirt. I don't want it to be shown that my hair is out of place, because that's what it is. We're looking at, we're seeing all this stuff, and it's just, there's an old expression: if you spot it, you got it. It's like, well, then I'd rather not spot it. I don't want to have any mirrors. I don't. But it's like, no. But when I can see that, and I can see, oh, now I can see that my hair's out of place. Now I can fix that, because I'd rather be more put together, and not just a superficial way of, oh, I want my hair to look perfect, but just that as a metaphor of what's going on inside of me that is not the most evolved version of me, that is not the most elevated, the most joyful.
Right.
I want to enjoy life as much as possible. I want to feel as much peace, as much joy, as much love as possible. And so when something in the outside world shows something else, it's like, where is that going on inside of me? And I don't know if you're familiar with Ho'oponopono, and it's that same idea of, it's this Hawaiian practice of taking responsibility for what shows up in the outside world. You know, what's going on inside of me such that this is showing up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to clear what I can. And it's a win-win situation, because I feel a lot better and the world gets better. And it may not always be obvious. It's like, I don't expect to say, oh, well, there's this strife going on, in this other country, or in our country, or wherever it is. I'm just going to tap for a few moments. I'm going to turn on the news. Hey, folks, everything is better now. Everything has changed. And there's happiness in the streets. But
Right.
but to some level, that is that. And also, there may be something that I can do, like you said, getting on your podcast and being able to share your useful information with people that otherwise wouldn't have. And it's like, now you've been able to expand your reach, because you've gone past what had been a comfort zone before. And
Right.
that's always, I mean, that's the whole point of the work that I do. It's like, because I know that people have gifts and talents. I don't know if you can see it. I have a picture of Michelangelo's David on the wall. I have Davids everywhere, because Michelangelo said, the statue is already there, perfect, inside the marble. And all I have to do is chip away what doesn't belong to reveal the masterpiece that's inside.
Yes.
And that's how I feel about people. Every person is a masterpiece that is a gift. I know, having seen the David a number of times, I'm going back in a few months to see him again, just how spectacular, and just that feeling, and wanting everybody to share their masterpiece with the world.
Right.
So my job is just help people chip away what doesn't belong. And then that masterpiece is naturally revealed, and you naturally make the positive difference that only you can make.
Yes, I love that. I tell my children when they're going through something stressful or they have anxiety over it, I always say, I can't wait what God is going to do with this. What muscles in you it's going to strengthen. And another way of saying that is, what is it going to chip away at you to make you the perfect, amazing human being that you're supposed to be? We're just getting rid of the stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. And fear is praying for what you don't want to happen, right? Worry is praying for what you don't want to happen. So if we can get that worry, that anxiety, and that fear to clear away and see a challenge as a positive, as an opportunity for change, right? Not as an opportunity to be another victim, because the
Yeah.
victim mentality doesn't work in this world. And I tell my children all the time. I mean, there have been times where I've said, stop playing victim. What are you doing with that other person that is causing them to act that way towards you?